And with everyone here today, I had no idea I would react like this, so I apologize. To begin our ceremony, I want to welcome all of you for joining us, our distinguished guests, and members of our cooperators community. I'm absolutely thrilled to see so many of us gathered here today. I am Paul Hanna, Executive Vice President, Member Relations, Governance, and Corporate Services, and it's a privilege for me to be officially welcoming you into our new space and celebrate the absolutely remarkable efforts of all of the teams that brought this together today. So please, a big round of applause for them. This live event is being webcast in English only. However, a subtitle version of the presentation will be available in French soon after the event. Bonjour, merci de votre présence et bienvenue à nos invités et aux membres de la Cooperators Community. Je suis ravi de vous voir en si grand nombre. Je m'appelle Paul Hanna et je suis le premier vice-président aux relations avec les membres, à la gouvernance et au service organisationnel. C'est un privilège pour moi de vous accueillir officiellement dans notre nouvel espace. Cet événement en direct est diffusé en anglais seulement. Une version sous-titrée en français de la présentation sera disponible sous peu. Today you'll hear remarks from our President and CEO, Rob Wessling, Mayor of Guelph, Cam Guthrie. We have invited Mr. Mike Schreiner, Leader of the Green Party of Ontario, Member of Provincial Parliament for Guelph. Hopefully he will arrive in time for his remarks. And of course we'll hear from our VP of Real Estate and Workplace Services, Sean Fitzgerald. At this time, I'd like to invite Laura Mabley, our Chief Human Resources Officer, to share a land acknowledgement. Laura, please.
Thank you, Paul. Hello, everyone. Wow, it's pretty spectacular. I'm Laura Mabley, and I stand before you today with a profound sense of honor to share this land acknowledgement. It is a privilege to recognize the enduring connection that Indigenous peoples have to this land, a relationship that predates the establishment of our modern communities by millennia. Like many of us, I've been on my own journey, starting with simply understanding our history and reconciling that with what I was taught in school. This has been a difficult part of my journey. However, as I practiced this acknowledgement, I was heartened. One of my daughters was home from school this past weekend, and as I slipped up on pronunciation, she said, "Mom, we learned this in grade 6. What's wrong with you?" So, well, apart from the realization that I needed to continue practicing, and maybe she needed some coaching skills, I did feel better knowing that our next generation may be learning rather than unlearning. And they are moving into the world understanding the importance of respect, equitable partnership, and reconciliation. Today we gather in what we call Guelph and the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, which has served as traditional lands and a place of refuge for many peoples over time, but more specifically the Adirondack, Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe peoples. This land is held as the treaty lands and territory with the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Guelph lies directly adjacent to the Haldimand Tract and is part of a long-established traditional hunting ground for the Six Nations of the Grand River. We recognize this land as being home and traditional territory to other Indigenous peoples since time immemorial. At Cooperators, our reconciliation strategy establishes our values in action. By recognizing Indigenous peoples as stewards of the lands on which we live and work, and by engaging Indigenous communities as partners, we can begin what will be a lengthy but essential journey, one that is shared among all Canadian businesses and communities. At the entrance of our new headquarters sits a boulder with a very commanding presence. Discovered during the initial construction phase, this pre-glacial rock beckons us to honor the land where our headquarters now stand, and to treat this land with unwavering reverence and humility. Words next to the boulder state, "May this rock serve as a beacon of hope, inspiring us to forge a future where all peoples thrive in harmony with others and with the natural world." May these words provide us with guidance as we continue on our path to co-create reconciliation strategies. And then, as we step inside our new building, I am immediately struck by the beautiful piece of art called Thunderbirds by artist Donald Kretchen, who identifies as an Ojibwe from Nipissing First Nation with French-Canadian roots. This striking artwork is accompanied by an ever-present land acknowledgement and is part of the efforts made to honor Indigenous artists in this space and demonstrate their work as it depicts their own unique experiences and perspective as Indigenous peoples. These are two examples of how our commitment to reconciliation and inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility is demonstrated throughout the building. We are dedicated to continuously learning, unlearning, and evolving, as well as implementing additional actions to further promote understanding and inclusivity. Today, we have two special guests with us. Elder Stephen Winterhawk, representing Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and his wife, Sedalia, Earth Medicine Woman. Earlier today, we had the honor and privilege of joining them as Elder Stephen Winterhawk performed a blessing of the land we are on. And he smudged the land as he walked the perimeter of this new building, purifying the land and taking the time to acknowledge and recognize the Indigenous peoples who have called this land home. I would now like to invite Elder Stephen Winterhawk forward to share with us a prayer for the land.
Ani Buju, that means I, hello, and Ani means, if any of you have ever seen the movie Avatar, they say, I see you. So when we say, our people say in Ojibwe to you, Ani, we're saying, I see the spirit in you. And I see the spirit in you who have taken the time to have us here to acknowledge the land and the sacredness of it. And Buju, Buju has to do with all of you people. Buju is hello, but it's more than that in Ojibwe. In Ojibwe, Buju is short for Nana Buju. And Nana Buju is the first Ojibwe man who came from the Sky Woman. This is our beliefs. And our myths are not far wrong from everybody else. So there was a Sky Woman, and she came down and she was pregnant by the Great Spirit. And she had a son called Nana Buju. So Nana Buju what then was part Great Spirit, like a really super great spirit. But he also was a trickster, and he's half a person, a man. So he could be smart, but he makes mistakes. And isn't that really strange, like any of us? So when we greet you in Ojibwe, or other native people, we say, bonjour. You know what we're really saying when we're not telling you? We're saying, Nana bonjour, is that you? Because we're looking for someone that's, able to own that spirit that we have a bit of a trickster. So then I'm just going to say a quick prayer and explain it a bit. And then because where we come from, our songs are our prayers. So we're going to do two songs if you don't mind. Take up your time. But this is what we do. So the prayer begins with a word that is really interesting because it's like the cooperators. Oh, is that how you say that? Yeah. Isn't that strange? How would you say that in Ojibwe? Well, we might say it as Mindinawe Maganag, or the Lakota might say it as Matakiosin, which means all my relations. Isn't that true? It's really close to that. So already you know part of the words of prayer I'm going to say. Uju and then away Maganag. So first I'll do something because there's a bit of a trickster in me too. Sometimes I forget myself and burning alone and everything like this. That's why I have Sedalia to keep me in line. So what I forgot was we usually introduce ourselves, and we introduce ourselves like this: is Stephen Winterhawk and Dishnakaz. And Dishnakaz means my name is. So Redwin in Dishnakaz, and Oak Tree Inini, that means Oak Tree Man. Those are all words, but the names that come to me that were given to me by the animals and the birds and everything. I speak to animals and I speak to trees, and they tell me that I should speak for them. So I'm also representing, as you know, Mississauga of the New Credit, because that's where I originally come from. So here's the prayer. It's really short. Uju, Mindinewe Maganag, Ishe Manitou, Shawe Memishin, we do Koishin, Chigoye Ku Bimasian, Oma Akin. So what that means is, hello, all my relatives. Hello, Great Spirit. And Great Spirit, bless us. Bless us on this day. And help us to walk in a good way on this land, our sacred Mother Earth. So that's what that prayer means. And I think it's fitting for why we're here today. So we're going to do two quick songs. The first one, which is you probably heard on the radio different times, is called the Cherokee Morning Song. And what it means is, I am of Great Spirit. It is so. When they are home, when they are home, when they are, when they are, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. When they are believe have sang the Trail of Tears. And if you haven't heard the Trail of Tears, what happened was, I'm not trying to put a heavy on anybody, you know, that kind of, but anyway, some of our people were on a reservation that in the past, and the government came along and said, oh, wait a second, we discovered something on that reservation that we need. It's good. So you guys are just gonna have to pack up and leave. And it was in the middle of the winter, you know, and the Trail of Tears really happened. Our people, one tribe, just packed right up and moved to a different place because the government wanted them somewhere else.
This is where that song came from.
And this is where this song came from.
Elder Stephen Winterhawk, we greatly appreciate you and your wife, Sedelia, for being with us today. It is an honor and a privilege for helping us appropriately recognize the ancestry of this land. Thank you so much. I'd now like to turn the podium over to Rob Wessling, our President and CEO. Rob has been a champion and an advocate for this groundbreaking project from the very beginning. Rob, please.
This is so cool. We're finally here. I'm going to try something here, and I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a go. There are watch parties throughout this building, and one of the things that's really important in the cooperative system is the concept of voice, because democracy is one of our principles. You can't have democracy if you don't have a voice. And so in a moment, if you're a watch party, I'm going to ask you to let us hear your voices, and hopefully they will resonate throughout the building. Now it's a bit tricky because there's a bit of a time delay. So for those of you that are here, our colleagues are going to hear this like 5 or 10 seconds later, so we're going to have to be patient. But listen, if you're in a watch party, I'm out of the limb now. Please do me a solid and let everyone hear your voices. How long should you wait? Okay, that didn't work. Oh. knowing that was going to happen. And if you're in a watch party, thank you so much for letting us hear your voices and for making that work. Our legacy here. Apparently, there's a different set of delays. This is why you should not go off school. It's awesome, though. I hope they keep it up. Our legacy here in Guelph began some 65 years ago. And we had essentially a regional office that was set up on the former site of our head office. And it was set up really to be a central place to serve our clients. Less than a decade later, in 1967, that site was transformed into our head office. And I'm so proud that we have been a part of the fabric of the Guelph community and the surrounding areas ever since then. Cooperators staff, Cooperators advisors and their staff have committed tens of thousands of hours of volunteer time to this community, and it's fantastic. And when I think about my own journey with respect to volunteerism, working at Cooperators, I had the opportunity to coach numerous youth sports teams. I had the opportunity to co-chair the Guelph General Hospital Foundation's latest campaign that, by the way, is building a new emergency room, has created a new neonatal facility, a new triage facility for those that are suffering mental health issues, and purchased an immense amount of equipment. And these involvements for me have been some of the most meaningful in my entire life, and I really thank this organization for creating an environment where that's not only okay, it's actually encouraged. So I feel like I'm part of this city as a result of that. So today we have a new milestone in this legacy, which is just I'm so excited about it. I recall in the early days when we realized that the downtown office wasn't going to meet our needs in the long term, and we were looking for spaces in the city of Guelph. And at first, we didn't have a lot of luck. We were struggling to find a new home, and there was a point in time where we thought we might need to move to another city in order to be able to accommodate what our needs were. And I'm so glad that I'm standing here in Guelph, Ontario, talking about the next 78 years of our history moving forward. So this new, our headquarters will only deepen this relationship that we have with the city, and I'm just thrilled with that. As you've seen, this isn't just another office building. It is the physical embodiment of our cooperative values. For some of you that are here, maybe for the first or second time, I really encourage you, wander around the building and pick up the signs and the symbols that are here that really do show our values. Cooperators Board Chair John Harvey put it this way, and I want to make sure I don't get his quote incorrect. This building is a symbol of our vision and of our intentions to build a better future together. I think those are very profound words, and thank John for them. So this means ensuring the sustainability and resilience of our business and also of our employees. And let's be honest, to build resilient communities, you need to build resilient people, enable people to be resilient, and you need to build resilient businesses, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Like everyone who calls this building home, I'm just so proud. Paul, you did it. The design of this building, it honors our history, it honors the local community, and it honors our cooperative values. And there's so many ways that these things are really come to life through the construction. And again, I really encourage you to find all the cool stuff that's in here and outside that is related to that. Behind us is the Acorn Cafe, and this name is really intended to highlight our roots. There's great big lettering on the wall, and it says the following: an acorn that will grow into one of the greatest oak trees of the cooperative movement. That's a quote from one of our founders, one of the pioneers that created this cooperatives, and how we have grown. It's really quite incredible. The surrounding design is inspired by the oak tree, and so when you wander around and take a look at that, it's the textures reflect bark, they reflect moss. There's features that reflect light shining through the leaves, and the colors all come from local nature, flora and fauna here in the Guelph area. They say that nature is one of the best remedies. So if you have a therapist like I do, they say things like, go for a walk. If you're not stressed out, go out in nature and go for a walk. And this entire design of this building is intended to make us feel like we're in nature. It's intended to improve our quality of life as we're here at work. Like the tree that this building was designed after, it should protect and inspire all those that seek its shade and seek its comfort. It's just I'm just moved by this moment and what we've created together. So, some thank yous. We wouldn't be here today without the vision and the hard work of our real estate and workplace services team. It's been a long time coming. None of them know this is coming, but if you're part of that team, if you could stand if you're able, if you're sitting, even if you're in a watch party, if you're standing, if you could raise your hand. Sean, you can do it. Lead the way. Lead the way. Your colleagues that are being recognized, that you just recognized, that you're recognizing here, they put their heart and soul into this. It wasn't always easy. It was often very difficult. And I have to tell you that as I've seen them wandering the building over the last several weeks, and they're just walking about 6 inches off the ground, it warms my heart that you've had the opportunity to work on the project of a lifetime, and here we are. You absolutely nailed it. So thank you so much for that. And then once the building opened, they planned all of this, and so no rest perhaps, but maybe there's an opportunity coming up for this team to breathe out and really take in what they've accomplished. When you think about buildings in the North American economy, and you think about what's the best place to work at, and you think about some of the buildings in the Silicon Valley, right? So you think about Meta's building, or Apple's building, or Google's building. I've been to all of those head offices, and I've seen all the cool stuff. The staircase that's also a piano. There's lots of interesting things there, and those businesses that try hard to create an atmosphere for their employees that that will attract them. I can tell you, Paul, I can tell you without a doubt, I wouldn't trade this space for one of those, not in 1,000 years. All right. I didn't think I was going to be emotional either. I don't know how to do this. I'm just so proud of this space, and I just love spending time here. It is amazing to see, this huge crowd in this building. I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow, later on this week, next week, the week after. In all sincerity, like we've got such an amazing opportunity here, and I hope that we really take advantage of it. And I really look forward to welcoming others who haven't had a chance to see this wonderful building as well. So I just thank everyone, all of you, for joining us. It's now my pleasure, my great pleasure, to yield the podium to Cam Guthrie, the mayor of Guelph. And Cam, I'm gonna talk about you a little bit before I get you to come up here. Cam has been a big supporter of this initiative since the beginning, and as I said, there was rocky roads early on. It wasn't clear that we were going to be able to stay in the city. Cam has helped us along the way, and at various points when we've hit some bumps in the road, he's been there to support us. I've known Cam for quite some time, and we partnered in the campaign of Guelph General Hospital. Cam played a huge role there. I don't know if you know this or not, but volunteerism is something that's very, very important to him as well. And on a more personal note, I can think of a few occasions, Cam, where I called you up and said, hey, I really need some help with this. Can we chat? And you've always answered the phone, and you've always been very straightforward, tried to help solve problems, and I really appreciate that. So ladies and gentlemen, my friend and friend of the cooperators, Cam Guthrie.
Now you got me all emotional. Thank you very much. Well, I'm so thrilled to be here today. I was like stuck in awe when I walked in the door that I could barely walk 10 feet in here, just looking everywhere and seeing how beautiful this place is. I can't thank you enough for having me here today. There's some highlights of being the mayor for the last several years, and this is top, absolutely top. You have no idea what it's like as a mayor to get a call to have an appointment with a very large company, and they come into your office and they say, we are thinking about closing our head office. And I'm like, and then we're going to try looking for another place. Yeah. And to know that we're here today is just amazing. So I just can't thank you enough for our community, and on behalf of council and on behalf of staff. And I'm going to just take a moment just to recognize some of our staff are here. Maybe you could put up your hands. Behind the scenes, I'm the mayor, and I get to come up here and do all the ribbon cuttings and all that kind of stuff, right? But behind the scenes, it is staff that works so hard to get these things together and to get to this moment that we're at here today. For not just this business, but for whether you're a startup or another business that's in our city, there is an amount of people that are doing such good work. And so I'd actually like you to join me in actually thanking our city staff for helping to get this together. You've heard from Rob and others, and I don't need to highlight it, but I'm going to highlight it. The environmental sustainability that's embedded in this building is phenomenal. And these types of impacts and the commitments cannot be understated at all. You've made a substantial investment in the building, but really what you've done is made a substantial investment in our community. And again, I can't thank you enough for that. The net zero building standards that are here, and it also contributes to our overall goals of our community when it comes to energy and our community energy initiatives, trying to be a net zero community by 2050 or sooner. This contributes to that. You are setting a standard not here just for your own employees, but for everyone else in the entire community as well. The design is phenomenal. I can't wait to do the tour and meet all the people that are yelling about a kilometer away in your watch parties. You've already mentioned that your roots run deep here, and I appreciate that those roots will now run much deeper for the years to come. Some of the things that cooperators, I know you've been heavily involved in, whether it's Habitat for Humanity, United Way, the food bank, the hospital, many others, Women in Crisis as well. Those can't continue to operate if we don't have people like yourselves and all your employees do the work. So sometimes you might think you're coming here and only doing the insurance stuff and the financial stuff, but you're not. You're actually creating and maintaining our community and what makes Guelph tick. And I just can't thank you enough for that. I know that there was choices in front of you when that moment happened about we're closing our downtown location. And so I just want to say, and this doesn't need to be in my notes, you made the right decision to stay. You really did. You really made the right decision. Many of you might not know this, but I was in the insurance industry for 16 years before I became the mayor. I can tell you right now, I love what I do. Not that I don't want to be without a job, this won't. But if I was ever not to be in this job, and I wanted to get back into the insurance industry, my resume will be on your desk pretty darn quick to get this done. Because it's a great place. You know, in a world we're in right now where hybrid is, happening all the time, and you look at this place, forget the home office. This is where I'd want to be. And this is where you should all be very proud. So thank you to you, Rob, to the leadership here. And then one person I just want to highlight before I close off is Sean. And I know Sean's going to come up here. But Sean, your leadership has been incredible. One of the things I like as mayor is actually sometimes not getting phone calls, because that means everything's going just fine. Really, I only heard from him once near the end. Yeah. And that just, even in some of those little hiccups, your professionalism, your focus on the job at hand, and you continually kept saying, and I'm not making this up, about how proud you were going to be about this building for the people that were going to be working here, your fellow employees. That just means that someone like Sean and others in the leadership team here, they are thinking of others, they're thinking of you all around this building. And that's a great type of culture to be in, when someone is thinking about others. So thank you again so very much. I'm so proud of this place, so glad to be here. Can't wait to get a drink and go around the room. And if you ever need anything, as Rob said, you can give me a call. Now you know that I'll answer the phone. And thank you again. Have a great rest of the celebrations today. Take care.
Thank you, Cam. Very much appreciate your remarks. And in full disclosure, I left my notes up here, and either Rob or Cam took them. And I have no idea what that thing was. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. I appreciate that. In all sincerity, Cam, thank you so much. Your remarks reflect the fact that you understand the importance of cooperators to this community, and the importance that we have, and the relevance that we want to be in terms of all of the work efforts that we put in. So thank you so much for that. It's now my pleasure to introduce Mike Schreiner. Mike is our member of Provincial Parliament for Guelph and member of the Green Party. We'd like to invite him up for a few words as well. Mike, please.
is to join you all today. And if I could just express my deep gratitude, Rob, that you decided to stay in Guelph. Like the mayor, when I heard that one of the largest employers in our community and a cornerstone of our downtown was closing and not sure knowing where we were going to go, I thought, how could Cooperators leave Guelph? Because this is an organization whose values reflect the values of our community. And those values are embedded in this building. And I want to thank Cooperators for the work you've done and the support you've provided our community, the insurance industry, the financial services industry, and the cooperative movement as a whole. In addition to doing many things in Guelph or Cooperators are a part of, I've been a part of many co-ops over the years who talk about the role that the Cooperators play in supporting the co-op movement and supporting democracy and citizen engagement, worker participation in all parts of our society. I want to also just say how much I value the leadership role Cooperators have played, not only in having like people-centered work and people-centered insurance products, but also being leaders and talking about how the role of the insurance industry is to not only talk about protecting your property or your vehicle or your workplace, but also protecting the places that protect us. And the role you've played in helping build resiliency in our communities, addressing the emerging challenges that a changing climate is presenting to our province. Each and every one of you, everybody who works here, you are playing a vital and critical role in preparing this community and our province for the future that is coming. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your leadership in that regard. I want to close by saying that I get around Guelph a lot. I volunteer a lot, and I am just profoundly grateful at how often when I'm in places in Guelph, the event is either being sponsored by the Cooperators, like financially, volunteers, people who just care about community. And this building, just even the way you've opened it today, the connection to nature, the connection to our First Peoples, the connection to the past, the creating a bridge to the future. The fact that when I drove up here in my electric vehicle, there were plenty of charging stations available for me. The leadership you've provided in making this a net zero building and showing people that, you know what, you can do the right thing for the environment and you can make it work financially for your employees and your customers. We need more businesses like the Cooperators. And I'm just grateful that you're going to continue to be conducting business in Guelph. So if you ever need anything, you can reach out to my office as well. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. We greatly appreciate those kind words. As been said, we started the journey of this project back in 2017, and it was a very different world, and a lot has happened since 2017. Most notably, we've gone through a global pandemic, and that forced all of us to do things in different ways. It forced our hand in the work environment, and we figured out new ways to work. We've also been challenged with a lot of global instability, a lot of market volatility, and challenges related to our core operations from a frequency and severity standpoint when it comes to our core operations. So you might not think of it in this kind of a project, but Mike, you alluded to the fact that we are a business and we need to be financially astute. This project has actually contributed to the cost reductions of Cooperators. And you might think, well, how's that possible? This is a grand building. The reality is this is a compilation of 5 different locations in Guelph, all of which were dated and operated with inefficient and older technologies, HVAC technologies. In moving to this location, our operating footprint is actually at a lower cost than the cost we were experiencing in 2017 in those 5 disparate locations. Factor in inflation since 2017, and this is a remarkably efficient and cost-effective operation. So in a strange way, we've actually contributed to our cost savings by advancing this project. Most importantly, though, I would say each and every one of us, regardless of which location you came from in Guelph, you all, myself included, we all have greater enhancements, features, and benefits to the operating environment that we could not possibly replicate in any of those other locations. So it's been a win-win-win for the organization. Now, a project of this magnitude, and Sean, you've already received some acknowledgement, but a project of this magnitude, it doesn't happen with one person, and it doesn't happen with one team. But it does require a champion and an advocate and a group to advance a project of this size, of this magnitude, of this complexity, to create an environment where we can collaborate, innovate to the best of our abilities. And that has been Sean and his team. So at this point, I would like to invite Sean up. I know he's got a lot of people he wants to thank, because again, it takes a village. But Sean is our Vice President, Real Estate and Workplace Services. He's been with the organization for many years. He's endured, as Rob said, the trials and tribulations of this project, but he always did it, and Cam, you nailed it, with what was in the best interest of the people that work in these buildings. And you've done it with class, and you've kept your head held high, Sean. So please come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Paul. And thanks everyone for joining us today. I gotta take a second here. I need some mental snaps of this one. This is unreal. Surreal to say the least. I mean, when we designed this atrium, or had the vision for this atrium, all those years ago, it was with the thought that we could hold grand events in here, and Rob can speak, and other members of CMG, and there'd be people on the second floor looking down. So to stand here right now, this is overwhelming, to be perfectly honest with you. To put it into context, when I began down the road looking at options in the city of Guelph, my son was a newborn, and my son turns 8 this Thursday. So it's been a journey, for sure. A 7-year project from proposal to completion. And I'd say, while it's truly been a privilege to be here from day one to today, the privilege really has been to see the reactions of staff coming into this building for the very first time, and just to be here in the end to witness this milestone in our company history. The vision for the facility was really to make it everything it could possibly be, and to leave no stone unturned with what was possible here. It was to deliver a workplace that would build cooperative pride. This is our HQ, and now more than ever, the designs needed to align to our organizational cornerstones, such as community, wellness, sustainability, diversity, inclusion, while also weaving in our rich history as a cooperative in the city of Guelph. The building, as Rob said earlier, was really meant to be the physical embodiment of our company culture and our history. Building this headquarters from the ground up really provided a lot of opportunity for us, and one of those was to prove that it is possible to create compelling workplaces while also honoring our sustainability commitments, and to prove that it can be done while also driving down our operational costs. And I'm a proud man standing in front of you right now because I believe that we have delivered on that original vision for this facility all those years ago. My hope today is that other organizations will follow suit. This building, I'm hoping, is a catalyst for further construction developments and sustainability. Delivering a headquarters of this caliber truly does take the efforts of an army that was mentioned today as well, but it could not have happened at all without the unwavering support of our CMG team. And that's why I want to begin the acknowledgements today by just saying a personal thank you to yourself, Rob, to Paul, to the rest of CMG for supporting the vision that we had, and ultimately for the advice along the way and for the confidence in my team and I to deliver such a monumental project for this organization. So thank you all for that. The board took a lot of interest in this project, so I want to thank them for challenging our plans along the way and adding additional value to the end product that you see here today. I want to thank our many internal partner functions across Cooperators, including amongst them the vast array of technology and finance partners that we worked with along the way that assisted to get this building to the finish line. So I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for your partnership, your support, and your work towards achieving this goal together. A big thank you as well to our volunteers and our change champions, in particular with help on that first day experience. It was really critical to ensuring that we had a seamless move to this new building. Our key external partners, Cooper Construction, Neo Architecture, and HOK, many thanks for your partnership and your guidance as well as we aspired to build the very first building of its kind in Canada. It really is truly a special building, once in a lifetime project, and we did that together, so thank you very much. I want to thank the City of Guelph for supporting our plans from the beginning, and to you, Mayor Guthrie, for taking that call, and for being there the whole way through to ensure that we were on time for our opening day. So now to my facilities operations, real estate, construction, workplace design and experience teams, along with my leadership team. You know, words can't describe, I don't think, the feeling of pride and how thankful I am for your tireless work, your creativity, for pushing the boundaries of possibility along the way, as we all together aspired to create the most sustainable, people-centered facility ever constructed. This HQ is now part of your legacy, and it'll likely be here longer than any of us, to be perfectly honest with you. So, please enjoy this moment and all the kudos that you receive, because you've earned every bit of it by giving this gift to the organization. And finally, to our Cooperators employees, we're so grateful for the resilience that you've shown along the way through these years of change. Our people were always at the core of our design principles, and that's why I hope that you feel proud every single time you walk through those front doors. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us today, and with that, I'll hand it back over to you, Mr. Hammond.
Well said, Sean, well said. There's not much more that I can add other than to reiterate my sincere thanks to all of the teams, both within Sean's group and across the organization that helped pull this together. It truly did take a village to accomplish this project. I do want to reference a movie quote. It's an older movie quote for many of you, but it's one I think most of you would have heard, and it's from the movie Field of Dreams. Does anyone know what the quote is? If you build it, they will come. Well, we have built it, folks, and you are here. We touched around the edges of it here, but the challenge is for all of us to continue to leverage the opportunity we have in this building for the collaboration, the networking, whether it's coaching, mentoring, team building, or just your day-to-day activities. This is yours. It's a gift. Please use it and optimize it. That is my ask of you for today. I want to close by thanking our special guests, Mayor Cam Guthrie, MPP Mike Schreiner, and Elder Stephen Winterhawk, and his wife, Sedalia, Earth Medicine Woman. Your contributions today truly helped make this a memorable and meaningful event, so thank you. And of course, again, to the teams that enabled this event, this in itself is a huge project, just coordinating an event of this type. We know it was stressful for you. You pulled it off. You did a great job wherever you are throughout the building. Now, at the close of today's event, I'd like to ask our members of CMG, members of our project team, and our esteemed guests to join me by taking a sachet of wildflower seed mix to scatter into our meadow garden out at the back to commemorate the opening of our new headquarters. Our garden, located just outside these doors, was thoughtfully and artistically designed to always be changing. It will continue to evolve and foster plant species that are native to this area and can thrive in our climate while being beneficial to wildlife. Together, we are sowing the seeds of a complex meadow ecosystem that will provide food and shelter for many of our native pollinator species, including bees, butterflies, wasps, moths, flies, beetles, and some bird species for many years to come. Pour remercier toutes les personnes sur place avec nous aujourd'hui, nous leur offrons un petit sachet de grains de fleurs sauvages qu'elles pourront semer à un endroit qui leur est cher à la maison ou dans leur quartier. Nous les avons déposés à la réception. Cela étant dit, considérons maintenant le bureau officiellement ouvert. As a thank you for those of you joining us in person today, you are each receiving a small token of wildflower seed to take home with you and scatter somewhere meaningful within your neighborhoods and your homes. You can pick these up in the reception area. Thank you again for joining us today, whether in person, online, or whether you're watching the webcast after today, as we celebrate this moment in our history. With that, let's officially consider our building open.